In this lecture, we are going to explore one more topic of JavaScript before moving on to React-related topics. Destructuring is a feature for extracting properties from an object. So far, we've been typing the entire path of an object to access its properties. It can become tiring to constantly type the same lines. On top of that, our code can become difficult to read. Destructuring addresses this specific issue. We can destructure properties from objects or items from arrays. Let's look at some examples. In our script, we have an object with a property called num and a method called lognum. We can access the num property by typing foo.num. Every time I'd like to access this property, I need to type out this long line of code. It's not that long, but imagine if we had an object with nested objects. It's not uncommon to encounter nested objects. We can shorten our code by assigning the property to a variable. For example, below the object, create a variable called num. Its value will be the foo.num property. This solution will allow us to use the value without referencing the entire chain of objects. There's just one problem. What if we want to grab multiple properties from an object? Theoretically, we could create another variable. However, there's an easier approach. Let's wrap the num variable with curly brackets. Destructuring can be applied to any of the variable keywords. The name of the variables is wrapped curly brackets. Inside these brackets, we must specify the name of the properties that should be extracted from the object. Therefore, we can remove the num property from the value. JavaScript will extract properties from a given object. We can extract multiple properties by separating each property with a comma. For example, let's extract the lognum function. Each property will be assigned to a variable of the same name. We're not limited to extracting properties from objects. Arrays can have their values destructured. As an example, let's create a variable called names. Its value will be an array of names. Unlike objects, arrays rely on numbered indexes. This begs the question, how do we extract a single value from the array? After this array, define another variable called firstName. The value for this array will be the names array. After assigning the variable, let's wrap the variable name with square brackets. Destructuring functions differently for arrays. Values are destructured in the order they're defined. The first item in the array will be extracted from the array. It'll be assigned to the first name variable. If we were to add another name, the second value in the array would be assigned to the second variable. Overall, destructuring is a simple feature in JavaScript for making our code readable. The original solution is viable, but most developers prefer destructuring. It's easier to read and write. With that final topic out of the way, let's get into React development. I'll see you in the next lecture.